Yeah!
Welcome to the family-friendly Dice Tower. I'm Tom Vessel.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Z Garcia, the most friendliest of them all.
Off camera.
A lot of it.
Hey, everybody.
It's Crowdsurfing. And we have, I was about to say a lot of projects.
We
but
don't.
We don't.
No, that's
Very
a
few.
straight up lie.
But good ones.
I will say the last 2 weeks it's been few projects, but good projects.
I wanted to talk
Right.
about the bug kisser. Oh, well.
Oh, you want to feature it again?
No.
okay.
You want to talk about it or you want one?
When it ships, it comes
No.
Oh, you're getting one.
I want to
'cause
kill
already
every bug I
ordered.
see.
in.
You can do that.
With your
lips.
I just keep killing them.
The kiss of death.
Okay, I got my talking. All right. So before we get started today, taking a look at different projects that are ending in the next 7 to 8 days.
Why are you screaming at me?
Yeah,
man?
a little
Because
louder.
every time we do
Didn't
this, someone
quite hear
emails
it.
me and goes, why didn't you talk about this project? I'm like, because it's ending 25 days from now.
Yeah.
Oh, within 7 or 8 days from now.
Yeah.
Right.
I understand.
Hey, before we do that, let's take a look at a project on our sponsor, Backer Kit. Here we go.
All right. Today we're taking a look here at Daybreak. Daybreak, which is from the same designer, Matt Leacock, who did Pandemic. So it's about stopping climate change. And you know what? It's a very interesting game. I mean, the artwork here looks really different than a lot of other games. I mean, that board, Daybreak, looks really cool. Lots of different tokens here. $50 to get a copy of this one here. So, I mean, this one seems to be a no-brainer to me because of the, Matt Leacock has established himself not just with Pandemic and all the Forbidden series, but I don't know. And also, I mean, look here, you see Tom Lemon from Race for the Galaxy saying it's a pretty cool game. So this is definitely one to check out. So you can get this right now on Backer Kit. You can see how to play the game. It's a 60 to 120-minute game. You can see the pretty involved team getting this one. So definitely one to check out right now on Backer Kit. That's Daybreak.
All right, so we're going to jump into some games here. The first one, which is definitely not using a font from other games.
No.
The Secret of Eldorado, the print and play escape game. I did not know Eldorado, and I'm not being snarky. Is it a single word like that?
Not.
Are you sure? Like,
Yes.
even in Spanish?
Yes. No.
Even in Spanish?
No, I mean, I don't want to get, yelled at because you're like, well, actually...
See, I would have asked the other way. I know it's 2 in Spanish. What about English? I would have asked for
Yeah, I don't know in
not
English. I
Spanish.
assume in English it's the same as in Spanish. It's definitely L, which means the Dorado. It's 2 words.
Okay, I know that. I just didn't know, maybe when it's the name of a city on a map in Spanish, it's put together. I don't know.
No. There's
Please, keep showing us your ignorance.
plenty
This is great.
of city names that are more than one
Hey,
word.
It's there, ignorance. I didn't put this down
Just
here.
displaying it.
Yeah, absolutely. It should be 2
All right.
words.
Anyway,
Merlins.
it's a printable escape room.
Oh.
I will say it took me about half the campaign to realize this wasn't like a print and play roll and write, because I'm kind of expecting that
Yeah.
at this point. And I was like, oh, wait, I kind of think this is along that same vein, but a good idea. This is not one with these escape room puzzle style games that I'm a little fatigued on. I don't really want to take a gamble on them because you don't know the quality you're getting. Something like this, a couple bucks for a print and play, this would make me kind of take a gamble on something like this.
I agree. I was actually for some reason I had missed the big £3 or €3 at the top. So when I started seeing the sheets, I'm like, this is very interesting. If it's very cheap, I can see myself doing it because you print them out, right? I go back to the top and I'm like, $3?
Yeah,
It's a no-brainer.
exactly.
It is.
Yep.
How are they offering an app?
That's what got me, too.
How are you offering an app and everybody gets this for $3?
That's what I was thinking, too.
I wonder if it's kind of like that investment because this new here one, the Space Trap?
Space Trap.
Space Trap. Is it an app that's hey $4 because you're just getting this case and they're hoping that the future projects will kind of cover the cost of the app? I don't know.
It could also be that this app is incredibly bare bones.
Yeah.
That you
Very
type in
Probably
a number into a bare bones app. You type in a number and it goes correct or incorrect, and that's it.
That being said, if it did that and worked, I would rather that than a really well-developed app that is buggy.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
For $4, I would be okay with that
Even
if
the
it worked.
font in Space Trap looks like it's from another game.
It does
Trap.
kinda
It's
look-
from
Space Trap of the Galaxy. All right, but anyway, yeah. Would you print it out in color or not? I would have to print it in color.
No. If you want to be immersed in your theme, back when people were looking for Eldorado, they only had black and white printers.
The whole world was black and white back then.
Is color an option? I never saw a colored option.
Yes,
Oh, is it?
when I went down here, I was
Also,
looking. There, look.
I'll forever call my cell phone a torch now.
See behind the thing?
But that's cold case.
That's cold case. That's different. That's
Yeah,
their,
cold case is
roll.
definitely in color.
Yeah, that's more the
their
70s.
printable board game, which is an add-on.
It's only in black and white, I think. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I know.
that globe scares me though.
Dot matrix this thing.
All right, next
Like a
one.
banner.
Julius Caesar Enhanced Edition. So this is from Columbia Games. This is a block war game that came out many years ago. Block war games, well, they're on blocks, and that's because you can have them facing you, so your opponent will see which blocks you move, but they don't know which ones are which. You might even have a few decoy blocks.
Fog of War.
Oh, I remember that one. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
They're not particularly, and you also, so if you look here, this is like when they take hits, it goes from a 3 to a 2 to a 1.
Yep.
You rotate them. They work pretty well, and compared to most war games, they're considerably lighter than most because there's not a lot of stats and things, and I've only played one or two of them, and it's not my style of game per se, but they're fine. Like, yeah, here's a step reduction. See?
Is that a standard war game mechanism? Because I remember us covering a game a couple weeks ago that had that same thing that you have. You put out 4 tiles, one of them might be a dummy, one might not. So you have clues on what they're maybe going to do, and you're trying to...
Well, it is in some games, but I mean, again, Columbia Games have been around for well over 20, almost 30 years, I think. Oh, well, never mind, 48 years. Or
I just don't remember if that
So
was...
wrong.
51 years, sorry. Because they're founded in 1972.
68 years.
Okay, I just wasn't sure if that game we covered had something to do with this one, or if it was just a mechanism.
It might. I don't
So
know what
that's
game you
interesting.
covered, but
So I remember that being. It was when you were here. It was a while ago, maybe 2 months.
It looks
Anyway,
good.
just
It's a
curious.
nice
Yeah.
mounted map. Proven game.
yeah, top 50 war
I
game
mean,
on
this
Board
is
Game
a
Geek.
known war game.
Actually, I'm surprised at the few number of backers, though.
I agree. I'm
Yeah,
surprised
what's
it's
that?
doing that it isn't doing
134.
better than this. There's a lot of war games that are new or reprints of lesser known war games that make this much or more. So I agree. Maybe these folks who have it, that could be, the crowd they're selling to, they have Julius Caesar.
Right.
It's a well-known one. So
And it's not worth upgrading.
maybe.
I don't know what's different as far as components
Yeah.
wise.
All right. AR Vault Story Dice.
Yeah.
So this is from Awakened Realms, right?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
Their newest innovation. They created
Dices.
dice. This is a little presumptuous. Like this is like something.
I know.
I don't know that I love these actually.
I don't love the dice, but I don't know that I hate this idea.
No, the idea is cool. Although very pricey.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's like each
Oh.
game is like $9, right? If you get just one game of the upgraded dice, is
Yeah,
$9,
yeah, $9.90.
right? Something like that.
Something
okay.
like that. Yeah, it's because you can get just dice, like a set of role-playing dice. You can get the fancy schmancy, crazy carved-looking dice. You can get that sun drop painted, but then they also have sets of dice for their games. Like you can get an Etherfields set of dice where the faces on the dice are carved, whatever, to look like some imagery in the game. I like those. I thought some of those were really
Those are
neat.
nice.
They just look bizarre and alien and otherworldly.
They do, but they're hard to read.
I don't know if I would
Right.
use them, but if I loved the game, it'd be something cool that I'd bring out as an extra set of dice or something like that. You know what I mean? I'd have
Yeah.
it in there for that
I could not use these in a game.
But, or actually,
like
honestly, what I would probably do is go back and actually just paint the numbers like a red color or something like that. That way
That'd be
just on
nice.
my own copy, I'd do something like that. Because I do think that they are really neat. And I like this idea of just like, hey, one big Kickstarter. Oh, actually, they did it right there.
I was just saying, the sun drop pairs, those
They
look
had an
better.
idea.
Those do.
I would prefer they were like in a yellow or red to pop more.
You
Yeah.
could do that, right? That's what you're saying. You could
Right.
paint over the number itself as long as you're
Yeah.
very careful. But the sun-dropped
A real
dice
paint pen would
is
work.
such a neat idea, and these are so incredibly extravagant. Look at that.
Yeah, that's insane.
But you know the game too. I would rather do something like this and them offering these upgrades after I know I love a game rather than getting in. I'm
Right.
gambling on the game.
I do
I'm
like
gambling
that.
on the expansions. I'm gambling on the dice. I know I
Yeah.
love the game. I know it's hitting the table.
Yeah.
Absolutely, I'll buy something.
There's
You
one of
know.
these that has on the sides
That's a
like
good point.
hands holding hands like this.
Oh, interesting.
I forget which one it was, and it looks like the center drops away. It looks so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, these guys are they're insane looking. I don't know what they'll look like in person, but their renderings here are nuts.
Yeah.
Actually, in this case, I feel 100% confident they'll look pretty close to these because Awakened Realms models
They're really
look
good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Get out
Yeah,
the Great
the
Wall,
detail's
look at that
great.
stuff. It's fantastic.
Mike is pointing out the space cats. I think that's for Nemesis. The space
No one
cat
cares
ones. Did
about
you
the
see
stupid
that one,
space
though?
cats, Mike.
They were-
That's why
they
I
were
gave
fun.
you all mine.
They were interesting.
You don't like space cats, Tom?
You anti-cat?
I like space.
He doesn't like cats.
All right, the next project is Paperback, 10th anniversary, plus the Typewriter. I remember when Paperback came out, it initially came out almost as an underground hit. People were like, oh, did you play this little game called Paperback from this new publisher?
Very much.
Yeah.
And it was a mix of a deck builder with a word game and worked really well. I am so impressed with this game. Automatic collection for me.
Yeah, that's what you've been
But you
known
also
to
said
say.
brackets. Game bracket.
So my quotes are always so meaningful.
They really are.
Yeah, it's
They're
good
deep.
stuff, Tom.
You should be a poet.
I am very interested in this Typewriter game,
I am too.
if only because I learned to type on a manual typewriter.
So this is a new game.
It's kind of the same game
That's
condensed.
what I was wondering. Is it?
That's kind of what they're saying. Like, and if you like Paperback, then Typewriter is that game made portable
Like a bag.
from a bag.
And
like you have a
waterproof.
zippered bag, and the tiles are plastic or acrylic or something, so they can get wet. It's no big deal.
But
It's
it
like a
is
travel format.
But it is the first
Yeah.
time they're offering that?
Yeah.
Okay,
I don't
so
remember
this,
seeing
so
that
Typewriter's
before.
new, Paperback's an updated.
Well, it's
Okay,
also
got
a
it.
nicer version. Look at those metal book tokens. I definitely want them.
Those
Yeah.
are.
They kind of look like dice.
Yeah,
Maybe
those
they
are
should
nice.
complete those dice.
And there's new artwork, which I'm excited about.
This artwork, I looked through these. My goodness, these are nice.
Yeah, look at
The
that.
problem is they barely matter in the game.
Yeah, that's
in
the thing.
Paperback. They just don't matter. But
Yeah,
man, it's
he
so
often
cool.
sells prints. Because of the first Paperback, he had like 9 by
Did he?
8.5 by 11s of those, which I like
Okay,
too.
okay, that's cool.
If he sells these as like if these are at the next convention, I'll pick up some of these. I want that deep space deep dish.
That's great. I like
Some of these, like that next one, Mage of whatever from the Root guy. It's so neat.
Even
That's
Horror Moon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joey knows.
Those look
Oh, and that.
good.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
went out
just-
and got some
Like
good
that
art
one.
for this.
There's like that Cthulhu
Oh,
one.
that Cthulhu. Oh, you know that Cthulhu would look
Cthulhu
cool
and
on that
rollers in
metal
the hair.
magnet wall thing that you got.
Yeah.
What do you think of Bosley's? Oh yeah, it's
What
true.
a cosmic
What
girl.
do you think about Bosley's Dune?
Yeah, it's basically them.
Oh, it says known for Everdell. I was like, that's not in Everdell.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
it's
I was
them.
like, I don't understand.
Yeah,
All the
yeah, they all
animals from
say it.
Everdell have been eaten by
Look
the
at
sandworm.
Castles of Burgundy right next to it. I don't remember that part either. Yeah, that's.
Weirdo.
That looks really cool. And again, Paperback is
I like
a known game. It's
Yep.
Yeah,
a bit of a word game classic at this point, honestly. Coming back, new content in there. There's these typo cards now, a few new ideas. Looks cool.
I like that typewriter, little discs. That got me. I'm like, you know what? That's clever.
It
You
is.
know?
Yeah.
You ever get your finger caught in between the keys?
The typewriter?
Yeah. Am I the only person who typed in a manual?
I've done it. I mean,
Man, yeah, that's. You gotta go. You can't
but
go
then
fast
again,
with
like I've
those.
also ridden in older cars than you, and so on and so on. So yes,
Sorry, I didn't know
we
where you
have
could
those.
start comparing.
No,
them.
I'm just saying it's not. I'm younger, a little bit, but I was around older stuff, is what I mean.
Yeah.
He's talking about you.
Talk about Mike DeLisi.
Before we continue on here, we're going to take a real quick break and hear from our friend Mark.
Street.
This spotlight is brought to you by Westar Games. Will you save the kingdom or bring it to ruin? In Anarchy, you rule a kingdom as a newly elected counselor, tasked with voting on events, resolving disasters, and managing the kingdom's 4 resources: gold, magic, knights, and culture. Anarchy is an event-based resource management game, putting a twist on the classic social deduction game. As your kingdom's newly elected council members, each of you will have a hidden objective and are tasked with balancing your self-interests with the kingdom's well-being. You must work together with your fellow council members to prevent your kingdom from falling into anarchy, while simultaneously plotting against each other to achieve your unique objective. But you need to be careful, because amongst your friendly council members are anarchists who are trying to sow dissent and throw the kingdom into anarchy. Anarchy is just a vote away. Trust no one. For more information, please check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
All right.
That's my motto. Trust no one.
No one.
All right. Fantasy Feline Tarot deck.
Where's Mike so he can talk about these kitty cats?
Oh,
Look at them. They're so cute.
Oh my goodness.
Aw.
If you like fantasy and you like cats, this kind of seems like
If you like
a
tarot.
no-brainer, right? Yeah.
I've noticed that one of the things you can throw around that gets you a lot of credit is this guy's under his designer, Christopher Lee, besides his wonderful rendition of Saruman.
That's what I was thinking.
Huh?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
But that Disney Imagineer, you say that, people are like, you're amazing. I don't even know what you did, but you're
That's the
amazing.
truth.
It's like a really strong thing to throw out.
It really
Yeah.
is.
You think so? Yeah.
For a lot of the world, yes. If you say I'm an Imagineer, I don't even know what you did. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Also, you work for Disney. Are you rich?
Coffee.
Yeah, what did you do? An
You can be an
Imagineer
intern.
comes up with things.
It's on the resume.
It's their way of saying engineer, but instead, this is what they do. They take the word imagine,
Yeah.
They put in everything.
smush it together in Spanish.
Okay.
Make a
They
single
There's a
con-
word for
conjugate
that,
it.
a French word,
Er.
which I can't remember how to say. Portmanteau, whatever. What is that called?
Anyway, I can't. I think is this a game too?
I
It's a
don't know.
tarot deck.
Are those tarot size?
I
like
sure
playing
hope
card
so, because
size.
it's a
Yeah.
tarot deck.
So
I
what
will
if you?
rebel.
So what if
it's
you
not.
went to like a fortune reader like you do often?
Yes,
Brought
yes.
these out?
And she pulled out the kitty
I can
cats.
see your dad.
I'm like,
This isn't like meshing.
It
The
almost
death
seems like it
card,
has
but you
little,
have
like-
8 more.
It almost seems like it has little cheaters on it too, though, right? Because it's like has the picture, and then it's like, oh, this card might mean this, or so it's a
Yeah.
weird deck at the same time. I don't really know. It's kind of seems like a catch-all. Like, oh, it's an intro deck. Oh, it also has the 4 suits on it. Oh, it also has this, but cute cats.
the
I know, it's like it
fool.
tries to be
That's
everything
not
to
right.
everyone. This artwork is very cute. I don't know if I would put it on a tarot deck necessarily. There's nothing mystical. Maybe that's my own ignorance for thinking tarot decks should look mystical, but
Just get that
there's just
hugging cat
nothing
one every
mystical
time.
about these. These look like the drawing equivalent of those little porcelain dolls that people collect. The little
Yes.
precious moments.
Yes.
Yes.
Precious moment.
But in
That was a
cats.
throwback.
You know, this is in
Wow.
cats.
Yeah.
This should
cat
be a
form.
calendar.
Oh,
A
yeah.
calendar would be good. Yeah,
interesting.
sure.
He was really proud of that hugging cat one.
Yeah, that's true. That's in like every
It's
one.
everywhere. He's
But
like,
not the fool. I'm
it.
still looking for death. Is death in here somewhere?
look at strength. Oh, it's a
like-
lion cat.
Oh, there's death.
Where? Oh, okay, that was pretty cute. Oh, I love that one. Look at his little sad face.
If death's coming, you'll be like,
See?
come on.
I like the hanged man is actually not.
He's just
hanged.
like hanging on. Yeah, right.
It's that. It's
They can't do like
it's
a
from that
hanged
meme.
cat.
Hang in there, cat.
Hang in
How to
there.
fit
It's
is-
Yeah,
Monday.
Hangman or CrossFit, either one.
All right.
It's very cute.
Yeah,
I might have to
Chrissy-
back it.
Chrissy says it looks like
Really?
AI art, and
I wonder.
it does look a little
I
like
agree
AI
with
It
art.
that.
does
It does
kind of.
look like
Yeah.
AI art to me too. Yeah.
And this is a game that looks like it was designed by AI. Tactigon. Outwit, outflank, outlast. As soon as you... That's one of my pet peeves. You put that on the game and I automatically dislike your game a little bit.
Yeah.
What if you do that?
That whole alliteration, like especially when you steal from Survivor, you know,
Yeah, that's.
they changed one word.
I don't know,
What
like-
Survivor's outwit, something outlast. They just put outflank. I know outflank's not in Survivor. Get around the edges.
Not yet.
Is that about like the TV show?
I would
Survivor?
watch it
Yes,
more.
Survivor is something outlast. That's their.
I've never seen
Anyway,
Survivor.
this is a
so-
3D printed looking game, but
It
strategy
definitely
It's not
is.
3D
geometry.
printed. Or some of them are.
No, they're going to be the final will be injection molded unless you get a custom
That's
one.
fine,
Then they'll do it for
but
you.
it looks 3D printed. These are not.
Here-
So I like miniatures, and I don't mind if you want to make your miniatures abstract, but then they need to look. They need to look like classic, cool pieces. Like you know how Onitama looks a little bit.
These look alien. I think that's part of what it is.
Nah, they look like caltrops.
But this one I
That
watched.
one does, but the rest of them look kind of alien, like alien architecture a little bit. I think that's kind of cool. The game does not look interesting,
That's the thing.
and the 3D printing is unfortunately because all their footage is with a pretty bad 3D printing job. It robs it of what might look a little classy. Also, how many times can you show me the fact that a piece moves and when it gets to the one it's capturing, you violently knock it? I get
That's
it.
the big thing.
Jeez, like,
And they
I don't
teach
know.
you how to play it in 3 minutes, but the guy talks so slow, I had to do like a time and a half because there's not a lot of rules. But then the ones that do don't make any sense.
I will say, I think I do appreciate that he's using 3Ds printed and that
Instead
stuff,
of renders?
rather than just showing us renders,
Yeah.
because he does make note that it is going to be injection molded in the end, but he's actually showing us something in the prototype in the development form to show that time that's going into it, not like, here's a rendering of what it might look like. We're already seeing what that end result is going to be sculpted as. So I do
Right.
appreciate that. For me, I think it's more that I don't have a problem with those. It's just with the board as well, looks a little mismatched. I don't think the pawns are bad, but maybe just give me a regular board then. I also don't want a plastic board.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it. The game doesn't look interesting to me at the end of the day, and I like abstract games, but I think it could have helped you to maybe get one really nice version produced.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
I agree.
And you can find 3D printing places that will do that for you.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
This is the chess killer. Maybe.
Now, here's a cool looking game, Taiwan Night Market, which has a cool name, too.
Yeah.
No, I like it. If you've ever been to a night market, they're really cool things to go to. There's something about the hustle and bustle at night and people selling back and forth. Now, they wait way too long to show you the game here, by the way. This is from Taiwan.
The video doesn't do very good either. It's definitely like translated.
This is one
Weird.
where
And not great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I couldn't get a good grasp on how the game played from the video.
No,
Right.
I can either.
the photographer needed to show us more. I think that looks cool, but you're right. It needs. I wish there was more close-ups of the game. And then when they do show a close-up like this, I'm like, well, that's not helping your.
But what am I looking at, right?
Yeah, look at that. Rubik's Cube. Sudoku. I
That's
don't
what I was
know.
thinking.
Yeah.
Sudoku.
Actually,
Ooh.
it's kind of like Amon-Ray, if I'm not mistaken, where you're bidding. Those are bidding spaces.
When you're bidding for where your
So you're
markets. Sorry,
how
I'm
much
sorry,
you want to
go ahead.
pay. Yeah. That's like, and so you can jump in and outbid somebody. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because you can see the customers that are going to be coming. So you're bidding for the type of, I don't know if it's the type of stall or for the placement of it, one of the two of those, and then they come through and fulfill in order, most points. So
Yeah,
it
it's a
seems
cool idea.
interesting. Yeah, pretty light mechanisms, I wouldn't say. Like few mechanisms, I
Yeah.
will say. Very streamlined kind of game, which is not a complaint at all. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
Toilet card.
This is from Taiwan Board Games. It is from the same designer, I think, as. So what were we talking about? That it was
The-
from the same designer as
Hamakoji Geisha Road.
Hanamikoji
yeah.
The Geisha Road.
and Vegetable
Vegetable
Stock.
stock. That's
Right,
the
it's
big
the
one.
same designer, I believe, as well. So
Which
I
again,
like veggie stock.
yeah, I mean, with Veggie Talks, limited mechanisms that lead to interesting gameplay, so,
I like
so
that.
it could be interesting. It's
I like the artwork
intrigued.
and the theme.
yeah,
I will say, at first I was thrown off because I watched the video first and I was like so overwhelmed by the art. But then when I actually went down and saw the board and the layout and got that bigger picture, I was like, oh, okay, no, it is good artwork and it's not as overwhelming. So again, back to the comment before, I don't think the video did it justice, but the page is definitely worth a look at.
Yeah.
The toilet card is a one-card expansion.
Should be.
I wonder
How-
if it's a toilet.
how well is this doing?
Stretch
Tom?
goal number 2.
It's not doing great. It's doing okay. 23,000.
Yeah, that's interesting. I figured this kind of game would be doing better right now. What's left? 66 hours? Is that what that means?
Yeah.
Can't see it. Okay, there we go. Yeah. This is the kind of game that I figured would do better than this. It's
Yeah.
a lot of these games that come out of this TBD, right? Is that what they're called? Taiwan board game. what is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, TBD.
Taiwan board design. But this is only the second one they put on Kickstarter. The first one they put on Kickstarter. They've done many more games.
They've done them. Yeah, you can just. That's
was the
Geisha's Road.
sequel to Hanamikoji Geisha's Road.
Yeah.
I haven't played that
They've
one.
got some neat games. Is
That
what
one
I'm saying.
did 3,400 backers. That one did very well.
Well, yeah, it had Makoji on there.
All right. Alter, Realms of the Generic Gods.
What do you think
Right.
about this one? Yeah.
I'm telling you, man. I think the Red Joker's an interesting company, an interesting French company. They're real hit or miss, but there's just something about this that screams generic. Like they're not even trying to hide the fact that artwork comes first here.
This video looks like every magic trick trailer I ever saw, by the way. The first video.
Yes, I thought
mean-
that too. I was like,
Oh, I thought I was like on Theory 11 or someplace that sells
that's
magic.
what I'm
And
saying. I'm like,
man.
guys, I
had
get it.
flashbacks.
You have good artwork.
Yeah. It was, I mean, they
Are
used
you
fog.
selling me that or the game?
I know, I thought.
That video is, you're right, it's like every deck of cards video ever.
Yes,
Or
exactly.
any trick that, like you said, Theory 11 is going to try to sell you.
Yep.
Also, they go to the bottom. This is very interesting.
I'm looking at what other games they've done. Mostly Oko is their big thing. Oh,
yeah,
they did-
Oko, yeah.
Wow, this is the company that did Guardians back in the day.
Yeah, they've done a few things recently, smaller things.
Also, this artwork is very, in my opinion, almost 80s and 90s. It's a
Oh,
little
yeah,
played out. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
it's gods on the beach.
Right, yeah, it's definitely kind of...
I'm not impressed with the artwork. I mean, it's technically well done, but I don't like it.
It's also technically computer enhanced.
Big time.
Like, they leaned into saying,
It's definitely
we're
enhanced.
using AI artwork.
And-
The artist, like, we encouraged our artist or artists to use AI artwork and work with it, which I thought was interesting. Right there, maybe? I thought that was very interesting, where they're specifically saying that. Like, huh?
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't seen anybody else
Admit it?
not admit it, but not
forward.
just admit it, but be
Lean
like,
into it.
Promote it.
and we're proud of it.
Yeah, kind
Yeah.
of promote it, yeah.
That's one way to do it. Anyway, I don't know about the game. I feel like I'm buying artwork.
Yeah.
Mike, Gods of Baywatch.
Got a bit. All right. Weirdwood Manor. This is a 1 to 5 co-op adventure of strategy
Yeah.
and time with a round board and some really cool pieces. And this is a first game from these folks. Did we see this at a con?
Yes,
Yeah,
we saw it at
couple
both
cons.
Essen and Gen Con.
Gen Con.
Yeah.
Okay, because it looks really cool, and I felt like I saw this in person.
Yeah, probably
Yeah.
did. Yeah, kind of, to me, the vibe I got from this was, it felt like Pandemic meets Ghost Stories a little bit. Because the tiles kind of feel like those village
Yeah.
tiles. But then the scarabs overwhelm
love
the
the
tiles and
scarabs.
flip
So
them
cool.
over.
Yes.
Kind of like
Ghost Stories.
Pandemic. Like three
Because
or
the-
two.
Oh,
two or three.
yeah,
like
okay.
they show up, they group up, and they flip off that tile.
Right, okay.
Which is kind of like, again, Pandemic meets Ghost Stories.
Yep.
And of course, you got the rotating gates might not be open.
I love that, too.
Yeah, the whole thing looks
Yeah.
really awesome. It looks like a fun co-op.
And
I
the
think it's really-
acrylic.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
No,
I
go ahead.
interrupted.
No, the acrylic standees, I just love those, too.
Right, and I do
Yeah.
like that they have the cardboard one standard, and then you can deluxify. I would want that. But yeah, it's interesting that you bring up those two games because I hadn't made that connection between those two, and I like both of those games.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I see it now. But then the other mechanism this has is those multi-use cards, which I love. And it's not that you're using on 4 different things; it's that it's going to do different things for you. You play a card; it's not only the power you're playing, but where you're playing it, because that's going to advance that time tracker, which is the countdown to the end game. Of if you win or lose, you have a certain amount of time to do it in. And so it's how far are you advancing, how much time is it taking you, as well are you comboing it next to each other in order to get a bonus action. So one card play does 3 things.
Yeah, that's cool.
And I love that idea of having to not just, that balance, I guess, and that decision of which one do I play for those 3 things.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about this. I think it looks really cool.
Those are cool. The clockwork.
I really
at
want
those.
those for
They have a
no
little gear.
reason.
Their head's a
I
little
really
gear.
want those resin
know.
scarabs.
Oh, I want to eat those.
They don't burrow in your skin, I think.
They
I
burrow
do
in your
not.
Oh, that's the
brain.
worst part of that movie.
Oh,
Man,
it's on
I
my
hated
neck.
that. Those bugs crawling to your skin?
I love that. I wish that was real.
All right, so Forges of Ravenshire. I had a chance to look this one over at Gamma when I was there last week.
Go, you're on your own.
So this is a dice placement game where you
like
are placing the dice, and one of the things I checked, because anytime someone's dice placement game, I want to know if the lower numbers are as good as the higher numbers, and they are. So some of the
nice.
spots take low numbers, some spots take higher numbers. You get resources. You use the dice like multiple times. It was like a 3-step process. Put dice on the board, take an action. Take dice off the board, take an action. Then put dice on your board that you're making the stuff with for like a third thing. I like that. That's a nice concept.
Well, as well as like you're building up your board as well, right? So as you if you pull back a purple die and then you get that number, then you put it down, but then you're also triggering like an engine builder. You're kind of triggering that color on your board as well. And as the board goes, that's going to be more and more powerful. And so again, kind of like I talked about the multi-use cards, same kind of thing. You're planning multiple things. I want this die for this action, this one for this one, but that's going to pull it back and trigger that. Never mind, I want this one. Hold on, where can I get that die? That multi-layer one decision, kind of having that cascading effect, I think is really interesting in the dice placement.
My only concern about this is the generic theme. It's yet again another Everdell animal type thing. And again, it's that we're building armor and stuff for the people going into the dungeons. The first 3 times I saw that theme, I was like, oh, that's a cool theme.
Yeah.
This has been really overdone. You are the forgers for the people going on adventures. There's a lot of games that have that at this point.
That shield is probably one of those generic shields, which is sad. The other artwork is great, but that shield just goes...
Yeah, and the armor, I mean, all this stuff. I don't mind the animals. That's
The cover artwork
fine. I
is
mean,
fine. I
they
like
look,
that.
again...
I like
Angry?
the angry little badger.
He's very angry. Something
He's-
happened.
Actually, he's a little insane angry there with
There's
the
a
tongue.
story behind that badger.
I'm trying to remember what BA does besides make good vehicles for the A-Team.
They pity the fool.
Oh,
I
Cult
know
of
that.
the Deep. Cult of the Deep. That's the other game they did. All right. All right. So that's Forges of Ravenshire. And then, shockingly, I think this is the last game project. It
That
is.
was it.
I think so.
NAVKAKRI, Ancient Game Meets Tech.
NAVKAKRI.
Is that right?
Or Kakri or Kakri. But
Something like that. They say it
there's a
is.
second K in
NAVKAKRI or
it.
something, yeah.
There's 2 Ks.
By tech, I think they're like, hey, it meets tech from the 70s?
Oh, they love that one animation of the grid going out. They show that grid so many times.
Like, I feel like if I had seen this in the 80s, I would not have been surprised to see this game.
No.
If you're like, hey,
The
board game
game's
meets tech.
well, the game's an old classic,
Yeah.
and this board isn't doing anything that you couldn't get like electronic chess to do, or pretty much any of the other ones. The one thing it does do that I thought was like,
See that
oh,
part
cool.
right there? They love
The
that.
pieces come out from the
Yeah.
game at the beginning. That might
Yep.
be my favorite part.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, snap, and then I'm done.
Do it again. Do it again.
Stuck under the
Well, I do
lid
like
there.
the little lights
breaks it.
as you put your pieces on the board. It's interesting. How much is it? I didn't look at that.
200?
Yeah,
I think it
Dude,
starts
it's
with that.
It's
Yeah.
9 man's Morris, bro, for
Yeah.
$200.
That's why I lost my interest right there, because I was like, oh, I'd play it.
I lost my
I'd
interest
still
where it
play
says Type-C cable. No. It doesn't take batteries?
No.
You recharge it.
Yeah,
Oh, recharging is fine.
USB-C. I'd prefer that, yeah.
Wait, I want to see that people laughing at the door again. That was a great... Play the game. Wait, hang on, let's laugh again. So I don't know how that abuses me.
This is a funny game.
And they're
I did find it
playing by the
interesting that
river,
they-
or out by all my electronic games.
It's interesting that they don't make a point at all to explain the game. There is a little section on that, but it's like hidden in between everything else. It's very much like, it's the ancient game. You know it.
I know. I'm like, you can't. It does seem weird that they are. Like, why 9 man's Morris? You know what I mean?
Right.
The one that's like included in every free 10 for 1
That nobody plays?
box at like Ross.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is one of those 9 or 10 that no one plays. You know, just about. I don't know. That seems strange to me.
Yeah.
All right, well, that is the last of our game projects. Let's hear from Mark, and then we'll come back with some weird stuff.
Hey folks, welcome back to another Dice Tower preview recap. I'm Mark, and Alita's here with me again, and we're going to tell you about just a couple titles. And first up, we have Planet Trade. And much like it sounds, you're going to be visiting planets and trading to get the goods that the Earth needs, because once again, Earth has used up all its resources. So you need to visit all these worlds and get the right type of good, because the commodities market moves up and down through the game, and as the population grows, the demand grows. So you can gain credits by bringing back the right types of resources, lots of credits potentially, so you can spend them on cards that give you special abilities and allow you to attack your fellow opponents, as well as giving you keep cards to give you special abilities throughout the game. And next up, we have Ninja Slots. Yes, Ninja Slots. You're going to be putting together the best ninja team in order to get gems from the Guardians and pull them from this ornate box. And whoever has the most gems at the end of the game is going to win. And of course, this is a quick playing game with a lot of take that. So you can steal gems from other players, you can mess with their ninja teams, and really mess with their days, so to say. But there's a lot of interesting aspects as you put together the best team, because every time you put together a team and you take a gem, you have to refresh and put together a new team for the next Guardian. And so that brings us to my pick of the week. Now, obviously, these are vastly, vastly different games. And I love the idea, the concept of Ninja Slots. That's just really fun. And the artwork is fantastic. But Obviously, Planet Trade is the more meaty game, and there's a lot going on, and I really like that there's global events that change up the rounds every time you play, and all those different event and keep cards, and how you best spend your credits to make your character or your team, so to say, bigger and better to get the best trades is really interesting. So, give it a closer look. All right, folks, if any of these games look like they might be of interest to you, please check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
Oh! No, we don't care about Mark, but the dog!
Yeah, save
the
the
dog's
dog.
gonna die!
Don't you don't you dare hurt that doggy.
All right. Every week we take a look at prizes, and you all have been doing marvelous sending them to Tom at DiceTower.com. I got some weird, I can't put everything in, but I put in what I can. So we're going to start with the iGummy maker, who inexplicably also decided that vegan cake.
That's fantastic.
At first I was like, I don't want to make fun of this guy. Maybe that's how he looks. I was really confused.
Oh,
No, he does the whole video, man.
Well, I know, but I'm
gosh.
saying when I first came on this, I was like,
Oh,
whoa.
like that image? You were like,
Like, I don't want to
whoa.
mock this guy.
You thought,
he even had his family do it.
Well, I wanted to make sure, Camilla, before I laughed.
He might look like that.
I
Come
guess
on.
that's kind.
But what's the point of that?
From
Like,
Tampa.
I don't know.
do you associate cavemen? Is this still
Well, he
hard to
does a
come
whole-
back?
he
That's
does
what I'm
a
trying to
whole
figure out
joke.
the comeback.
No, he does a whole joke about like you hunting. You no longer have to hunt your gummy animals. You can now make them at home. And I'm
That's
like,
not a good
what?
joke.
Yeah.
So the concept of this, I think, is cool. Making gummies. My concern is that when they show the finished product, I thought they didn't look that good. And if they don't look that good in their pictures,
But is that because of the
Where were
product
they?
that he's also selling, the mix or the molds or this machine,
like
which
those
is
gummies look gross.
actually what he's
That's
selling?
chocolate, that's why.
Actually, what he's selling is the machine. So is it then product the machine's fault, or is it the mix, which he does make a point you can use your own mix in it,
Yeah.
so that doesn't matter, or is it the molds, which you're going to use your own molds, so that doesn't matter?
Where was there a close-up? Maybe
Yeah,
it was in the
yeah.
I just
video.
don't know
It's
why
in
I
the
want a
video. He
whole
shows
machine for
the-
gummies.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
CDs doesn't look that good.
No.
I'm curious as to how much, how many gummies do you need to make for this machine to be worth it for the return? You know what I mean?
Right.
What's the price on it?
Because that's a lot of gummies. Like
Right.
you
a
can
lot.
get gummies cheaply, is what I'm saying. You can
$149 bucks.
You can buy a lot of gummies.
Right.
And that's not
Yeah.
including.
And I do.
That's the product. You need the mix, right? You need to buy
Okay,
that.
so it says 168 for 4-pack gummy mix.
That makes gummies. Does this go for anything else, or is this a $200 machine to make gummies? Which
you
is
can
fun
buy one of those
one
giant
time.
worms
Yes.
for like
Gummies.
$40. Chop it up for all your kids.
What's that?
That's true.
I think these are special gummies. This is.
And he does make a point to say you can use any, water
does
or
that-
juice
he does
or
that long
any liquid.
This is for making drugs.
Oh,
All right,
caveman. I
all
get it
right.
now. You get it?
No?
Let's move on.
Caveman.
All right, Flyball. Here's a new and exciting beach and backyard game that you will take to the beach literally once. But I do think I would play this. I don't think I would buy it.
It looks like something you can already get in like that outdoor section of Walmart or whatever,
Yeah.
just
At the patio store.
right, or something
Maybe.
like that. It already does. I mean, I could see this being a backyard. You have your slip and slide up. You have this up. I mean, I
Ooh.
don't.
Not
but
the
it,
beach.
But it doesn't look like something that would kickstart necessarily.
No.
I guess that's what's throwing me off.
It's supposed to be the same as like the
Ski
the
ball?
ski ball at an arcade, right?
It has different scoring things, though. You
This is
score
a
based
terrible
on the difference
angle
between mine
to
and
be
yours.
showing this game.
Yeah. They thought that was clever, but it's not.
It's like hacky sack then. Isn't that how?
Oh.
Cornhole. or
Sorry,
whatever.
sorry.
Yeah,
cornhole,
cornhole.
not hacky sack.
Yeah. I
Z
don't know
is
how to
an
score
expert
that.
at cornhole.
I am really good at cornhole.
Oh, it is. It is skee ball.
Yeah, it goes in the rings.
Oh,
Well, no, it is,
my.
but yeah, then they actually developed again. The
I
scoring
don't know what
is
the point of the
different.
ramp is, though. I mean, it's not that much different from just tossing it at that thing.
Makes you bend down, I guess. I don't know. It's
Ooh, my favorite thing to do at the beach.
I know.
All right, whatever. Next,
Wow.
Lava Ball series.
That's what I've been looking for.
Yeah. Finally.
This is cool looking for sure.
It
I think
really
it's cool too that with
is.
the different metals, they go into like the different revolutions because of the different metals.
Is
Like
that
the actual
right?
like science and physics behind this is really cool. I just don't know that there's a need for it.
Yeah, it's just neat looking.
But yeah, right there it talks about how many different, revolutions it has, and why that's
This is pretentious art.
right.
Yeah.
Why it's like associated with different planets
they're really
because of those
small.
revolutions, things like
Those
that.
are
It goes
really
into the whole
small.
thing on. I think it looks really cool, but again, pretentious as all stuff.
It's all get
I need a
out.
little
Thanks, yep.
holder to hold my 3.
It's just like if you have that on something, like if somebody has that on their desk and I go into their office, I don't know. I'm just gonna be like, I don't like you very much. Like immediately I'll be like, you're kind of pretentious. You're kind of a jerk. Like,
I will say, if this is on my desk, my productivity goes down like a solid 50%.
She's just sitting
I'm
there
like sitting there like,
and spinning.
Really?
Like, stop
absolutely.
it.
Sitting there watching them,
Well, I'm such a
eating
fiddler.
gummies.
I'd be like, still spinning, still spinning, still spinning.
Yeah.
Nope.
I guess.
I'm gone. That's why it has such a clean desk. It's like nothing that can distract me.
Someone said in the comments, use these at the beach ball set.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
I think these are cool looking.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're pitching them as, and I don't mind. I've seen plenty of these kinds of, again, decorations for a desk that I find neat.
Right.
And a lot of these are very popular, like the Endless Machine ones are the same idea, and they're very, very cool looking. There's just something about this one, the way they're pitching it, the way they're showing it, that screams snooty.
And they just spin it. Can you imagine talking to somebody and say, excuse me, hold on. Just respin it, go ahead.
They're also 50. They're $55.
Yeah.
That's the early bird price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not real lava.
All right. More balls. The BounzyBall. BounceCoin Millionaire. So, do you want to play an app and bounce a ball?
I do.
I don't think
I
this is
do.
terrible. All right, because you and your friend both have this ball and it's bouncing in comparison until it's like, oh, you're beating me? Hold on, let me buy this certain thing so that I can completely wipe out all your bounces and take you down to 0. So it's like, oh, this cool competition. Wait until I slit your throat. It's kind of what it feels like.
Oh, wow. He just goes right to the end.
Escalated quickly.
I feel like
I'm more interested. I'll tell you, I barely looked at it. Now I'm interested again.
to who they're targeting, this is what it's gonna feel like. It's like, you took away my 100,000 bounces. Like it's gonna get personal real quick.
I'm interested in a cool ball that bounces. I'm not interested in the app.
Or slitting
And
throats.
For some reason, this feels like it's like halfway through the generation of this ball, that app's going to be like, buy Bitcoin. And it feels like this is like some sort of secret backdoor to Bitcoin. It's called BounceCoin. I feel like it's just a step away. After a while, they're like, the app's like, hey,
Yeah.
bounce that ball a lot. We'll give you some money.
This is like a weird episode of Black Mirror or something. You're supposed to bounce this and make currency or something? I really barely looked at this. It looks so stupid.
He stabs someone with a knife, is what I learned.
Slit.
That app looks like the free ad, the ad that comes up, and I hate. Like, that's what all of this looks
wow.
like. Well, I'm playing a better game on my phone, and this ad comes up, and they hide where the X is in one of the corners.
Yes.
And you're like,
and it moves. I know it moves.
Did the X show up yet? Where? Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is terrible. That's why they're making no money.
Also, those kids are creepy.
Those kids are so creepy.
They're realistic.
All right, moving on.
2% of its goal.
Are you too lazy
Yes.
to stir your coffee with a spoon?
Well, no, this isn't for stirring coffee. It's for cooling it down. The whole point is the thing in the bottom is not to necessarily stir it. It's because of the heat is what activates the thing on the bottom to cool it down.
It literally says here, reduces stirring.
It does, but
ways.
it also in order to cool it down. It goes into it later. Like this whole second half of this is all about it reduces it in 10 minutes. It brings it down
also
this
let it
heat.
sit there for a few minutes.
I don't agree. It's stupid. I want to be very clear.
You don't agree,
I
period.
mean, I don't disagree.
It's stupid, right?
Yes, I don't agree,
definitely heard
period.
that.
It's
Okay.
stupid. Sorry.
Well, let me ask you
This is, but
because you're a coffee snob.
Yes.
So when you stir your coffee,
Yeah.
will you
Clockwise or counterclockwise?
you don't
will you
stir
use
it.
anything?
Australia the other way.
Will you use anything in sight? Like, would you?
Yes.
If you have a closed pen, would
Yeah.
you use that to stir your coffee?
I would not, because I'm a germaphobe, but normally.
Good man. Good.
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
What did I see? I saw a lady stirring
I do it all the
coffee
time.
or
Do
something
you
that blew
really?
my
Yeah.
mind.
Like a hair,
I
just
use
like pull out a
scissors.
bobby pin.
No!
It wasn't
I
that.
use scissors. I use a fork. A chopstick is really useful.
Sure.
Oh my gosh. I have not.
How
If
about
you're
a
at your desk, I'm
BounzyBall?
too lazy to walk back to the kitchen. I'm like, this pen is closed.
What about
It's not been
the
used in a while.
leg on your glasses? Would you do that?
That,
Oh, no.
No, he's thinking about it.
Think about it.
No, glass are too
You know what?
expensive.
No.
I like how he didn't.
That's
know that
why. It's because the glasses
That
are
was-
expensive.
that was too
long
Not because
thinking.
they're disgusting.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Oh,
I know.
whatever. If
He
your
thought
fingers
too
did it,
long
it's the
about
same
that.
thing.
Yeah.
No,
well,
whatever.
he didn't know either
Okay.
until he had it in his hand. He had to like try it. He's like, no, that doesn't feel right.
I'm
Like,
thinking about,
had
have
to
I ever
try
done
it.
that?
The worst part about
geez.
this is we have come so long in the last 10 years giving stuff that keeps our coffee hot.
Right.
And now they're going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
They're like, you know what? You want around 50 degrees. I'm like, do I?
Yeah, you don't know.
Do I complain because it gets too hot? I don't drink out of a mug.
Okay, this is stupid. Moving on. This is trashy.
Wait, I haven't seen this.
We
This
were
is so
stupid to
gross.
trashy.
Okay, so
Did you guys see this one?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I
So this is
somehow missed
basically-
this.
Seen
I
it,
gave
I
up
backed
after BounzyBall. I was like,
I'm
I
done,
can't.
let me
I'm
explain this
done.
one to you.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
please.
because you won't get this. This doesn't happen to you. But for a
Okay.
lot of people, there's a lot of hair in the shower.
Okay.
Let's say you share it with
Rude, but okay.
This is for hair?
That's what they said in here.
Oh, I missed that part. Oh.
Like that says, if you're a mom like me, my idea started when I had globs of hair clog my drain, and I wanted somewhere to put it. So they didn't want to get out of the shower, so they're sticking it in this thing. So
Okay,
after,
explain it to me, please.
so
Okay.
after a few days, I'll be like, hey, whose job is it to empty this? And like the whole house would just disappear.
Just buy
I'm
a
like,
new
that's
one.
not my job.
You stick this on the wall
Yeah.
of your shower, yes?
yeah.
And then you pick up pieces of garbage,
Globs of hair.
globs
she
of hair, and you
said.
put them in here.
What's the hot dog outline like?
That's because you push it in. and
Keeps
it comes back
scrolling.
out.
Yeah, we
Keep
need to keep
scrolling.
going. No, there,
Yeah, don't
thanks.
stop there. Don't ever
Wait,
stop
go
there.
back out. Let's see what they're scared of.
Yes, please.
Oh, that's the top, so you stick your hand in there, and the hair is supposed to stay behind.
This is super gross.
That's so gross.
I thought when I first saw that,
I don't want a hot dog ever
I
again.
thought you put that on top of a hot dog so that the mustard only got where you wanted it to
It
be.
is dual purpose.
Stupid. What are you talking
Mustard mold. Mustard mold, man.
See, he comes
I'm sure
out.
that exists somewhere.
He comes
That's so dumb.
He comes out of the shower. Found this for my hot dog. Don't use it. Don't
I'm
use
just
it.
saying.
Like, no kidding. Let's say you're at someone's house and you like use their guest bathroom. One of these is in it. That I would be really grossed out by that.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, I would fill it up.
Ow! You know what?
Get
Never
a
mind.
wig.
I mean,
shove it
in the
there.
video, it's showing them use it for like flossers and like old razor blades, things
Oh
like
my
that. And I'm
God.
just like, so
Oh.
it's supposed to be for.
So it's like that thing that the doctor's office has.
Yes,
Well,
exactly. Yeah,
oh.
it's like.
To their defense, it's a long walk from your shower to the trash can.
I guess.
Like-
I don't want that stuff left in the shower.
No, I
area,
don't either.
Period.
Yeah.
The shower
Oh.
is like should be the cleanest. Okay. Anyway, moving on.
Oh.
All right.
I really gave up. I did not see these. What,
You're just like, I'm done. I'm done.
It was a lot of stupid stuff. Let's do it. Here we go.
All right. So this is this one. It got canceled. I'm apologizing.
Oh.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Oh no, it didn't get canceled.
sad.
Oh,
It just
back
looks
up.
like it did because they won 430,000.
Okay. But here's the thing.
I got to 715, so they might make it. We'll
I
see.
think they're marketing it to the wrong people. I mean, they should be going to these stores and saying, "Hey, we want to put this in your store."
I agree.
Not Kickstart. Do you want to buy one of these? Because to buy one is like $1,300 or something like that.
What is it?
What?
It follows you. So kind of
So
like
no one's bought one yet?
No, somebody has. Yeah. So it's kind of like
no.
like if you have a
No.
drone and you can have that thing and you walk around, it'll like follow you taking video footage.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. You have this little controller that you put in your pocket, and it's connected to this. So this follows you through the grocery store. So you're not having to push your buggy or something like
There's
that.
so many problems with that, though. Getting it in
no.
and out of the store.
That's what I
A
was-
store's going to be like, you can't bring that in here.
Right. And so that's why I was thinking, like, if it's at the store, though, and
holds,
they
like, 5
only work
things.
in the store, if something like that, it could work. Or, gosh, I'm concerned more about crowds. Can this keep up with you? Yeah, it did show that it stops when it gets to somebody, but if 3 people have this, or can you imagine someone like Gen Con with this, walking around, like, carrying their board games?
It might happen now that you've said that.
Oh, wow.
Like,
It's going to fund.
These do not need to exist because that magical thing that they have at CVS or Walgreens, the basket with the handle that goes all the way up and you can just pull the basket around. I think that's like the coolest
Yeah, but
thing
you
on
have to
earth.
pull it around like a peasant.
Yeah.
Is it the future or is it not the future? I'm very confused.
I think it's
Okay,
the
why are we
future.
resistant to this?
CBS or Walgreens would be the first place because they're the ones spending all that money on those full screen where the drinks are instead of looking through what we call
yeah.
glass.
Oh, I know. They're like it's a
Yeah.
screen that shows you what's behind it. You can also just remove this door. Like, it's wild to me, right? They spent money to put a screen in front of something that could be done by just not being there.
No, I love it. They spend money to cover it up so that they can show you what's in there.
What's the
You know what I
point?
mean? Like, wait, I already
Nuts.
saw though.
But when you open it up and then it's not in there, and you're like, the seat.
Well, it's supposed to read. It's supposed to like read it and like
Yeah,
not
it's like
show it if it's not in
smart.
there.
It's like
it's a smart.
There's
thing.
a lot of money in those
But also,
things.
there's a window that does the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's-
Cool they have
Those
on
are cool screens,
It's cool when
though.
they have it on the fridges. Have you seen a fridge that has one of those?
Those
and so
are
it's
cool.
a camera seeing what's in it, and then it projects so you can actually see the outside of your fridge, or the inside of your fridge from the outside.
Ooh, I want one right
Those
now.
are cool.
You
Yeah,
can just
those
get
are
one with a
nice.
glass
Cool.
door.
Can you?
Yes, they have fridges with glass doors.
You promise me.
Yes. You also have a fridge that follows you around.
That's
what I
want.
need, the fridge to follow me around.
I mean, this is-
I'm like, ooga booga laga, and I can just reach over and get myself a salad.
And a gummy.
The gummies you made. All right.
That is cool for people with mobility issues. Like if you have crutches or something like this. This is cool for that. But again, are we there yet? I feel like it's just going to be a mess of. The technology's not there yet.
Yeah.
I feel like this is for. I think the first place I'll see this is that Amazon store at the airport type place.
Oh, the place you walk in and then
They're like, you can walk in, grab whatever you want, walk out. Don't pay, we'll charge you. We know where you live. We don't-
Sharper image.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, this is that kind of thing.
You know,
Yep, I agree.
It does also kind of remind me of, when you go to those like sushi restaurants and stuff, it has a little robot that brings your drinks.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about? It kind of reminds me of those places too.
That too.
So
if there's a
yeah, make it a
robot
Give me a cute
server at
little
your
voice.
restaurant, I'm going there.
Yeah, I'm going there too.
Absolutely.
All right. Picks of the week. Anyone have one?
2.
I'm going for Weirdwood Manor.
I thought you might, or someone
It's the
would.
best one.
Anyone else picking Weirdwood?
I'm picking a Weirdwood Manor too. That's just.
That's a double.
That's a
pick.
good one.
Weirdwood.
That one looks so good.
That one looks really good to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fun.
I'm
Just my
excited
kind
about
of thing.
that.
Co-op,
Yep.
fun world, spooky. I'm in.
Yeah, I think it looks really good.
That rotating board, everything about that, I like it.
Follows you around.
What do you have, Camille?
This was, I went back and forth between this one and the one right after this, the dice placement one.
The Birds of Mama
Ravenshire.
Meyer.
Forager, something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, really, these two are even. I'm just picking this one because you all picked the other one. But I think this is really cool. I like kind of this dice placement mechanism and also the dice removal mechanism, the multi-layer decisions of it. It kind of reminds me of, any of those where you have to place something and take it back off. So you actually get 2 actions each turn. I really think it's streamlined mechanisms that have cascading effects, building up your own board. I think this looks really cool. I'm excited about this one a lot.
Mike wants everyone to know that he picked the Taiwan.
No one cares.
I'm pretty
Mark
sure
it.
he picked the
Mike's,
tarot deck.
Whatever.
Put Mike on the tarot deck, the cats.
Put Mike on the deck.
I've decided.
And my pick is going to be Paperback and a Typewriter.
Yeah.
I really want this
Yeah.
Typewriter.
Yeah. this is up there,
Even
too.
though I think deck builders are superior to bag builders because of, shuffling is easier than the bags and stuff. But man, that Typewriter nostalgic
That looks
aspect
nice.
to it is really cool.
I agree with that.
So, all right.
That looks good.
Well, that's it, folks, for another Crowdsurfing. Join us tomorrow morning for Board Game Smorgasbord. And then tomorrow for, what's it called?
The top 10.
Oh, the
Ruckus.
Random Ruckus?
Random Ruckus.
Random
The Random Ruckus
We
Show.
call it RR.
Random Ruckus.
Are we calling it RR?
I don't know if we
There's a
are.
movie called that. No, it's Triple R, right?
Triple. Oh, we don't call it triple R. I don't know if that's bad. But.
Anyway, no, that's not what that means. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Joey Evans.
I'm Camilla Cleghorn.
I'm Z Garcia.
Eat your gummies.
And be careful if something's following you around.